So to provide a little setup for this event that we're going to show is there is a pirate, and he's gone ahead and send out his first mates to try and capture some of the neighboring villages. This is part of a dynamic event chain so that, first of all, the pirates will invade. If the players fail to defend the village, the pirates then go ahead and start setting fire to the village. I think from the smoke, we can pretty much tell that they did not succeed in defending the village, and so we are in the next stage of the event. The event actually has fire all over the village. So we have some friends helping us out, because this is very powerful, this event is pretty high level. One of the things that we'll have Sarah show you is if we can find a water bucket. Water buckets are what we call environmental weapons. They allow you to interact with the environment and perform things that you couldn't do otherwise. In this case, part of the dynamic event, part of the victory conditions for the dynamic event are to put out some of the fires. So we were literally going around trying to put fires out inside the village. Okay. Oh, cool, firewall. So firewall is a great opportunity for us to talk about what we call our cross-profession combos. You'll notice we do not have to be grouped with any of these people. In fact, we are just ad hoc allying together because we are all after the same results in the dynamic event. We don't have to be partied together. But the cool thing about cross-profession combos is we have an elementalist who just dropped a firewall. And now, when Sarah positions her pistols and fires through the firewall, her projectiles will take on that fire damage and add additional damage to her attacks. Likewise, we talked a little bit about the Guardian. One of the cool things that a Guardian can do is lay down symbols. One of the symbols can enhance healing. The interesting thing that happens there is that if a thief were to go ahead and fire her pistols through that symbol, her bullets would carry that healing buff with them, so that any players who are near the mob when they get hit by the bullets get a healing buff. So as you can see, there's some cool kind of construction blocks to some very, very fun combat that can be done without having to be partied together. Here what we're showing is our down state. The down state, you do not die initially in Guild Wars 2. What you do is you enter a down state. From the down state, you get a new health bar, a limited health bar that starts ticking down, as well as a selection of skills that have the potential to defeat an opponent. If you are able to, in that last-ditch attempt, defeat that opponent, you will rally and spring back up. You will not go back to a waypoint to res. Likewise, one of the things that was shown just now, one of the players we were with tried to do is revive us. The other important thing about our combat is, like I mentioned, we have no dedicated healing class. We felt it's very important that players be able to get back into the action really quickly. They don't have to sit around waiting for a healer to show up. Every profession has the ability to self-heal, as well as do several of the opponents have other ways of healing their people in their group. The other thing is that players, as you'll see here, oh, maybe not, because they both got knocked down. But what you see here is a player trying to revive us. And all players can revive other players. Again, oh, they're trying. They're really trying. They're so close. Oh.
Oh, there's just a chain.
Yeah. Sometimes this is what happens.
And he came in for the kill.
But in a less difficult area, that other player would have been able to revive us. Again, it's not anything that's specific to any one profession. It keeps the combat flow going. You're not going to hit as many of these dead stops where we're like, oh, total wipe. Do we go back or not? No, you stay in the action. Okay. Let's see. One thing about dynamic events that we didn't touch upon yet is obviously, why would you participate in dynamic events? Other than they're cool and they just invite you in. Dynamic events, by participating in dynamic events, you do not get specific loot drops, because then that would probably incline players to try to get a certain event and say, I want this specific drop. Instead, by participating in dynamic events, you accrue an in-game currency called karma. You acquire enough karma, you can turn those in for some very valuable rewards in the game from vendors. All right, I think we've covered all the main things that make up the game. The only thing that I can think of that we didn't have time to show you relates to personal story. It really does drive home this notion of consequences, is that in Guild Wars 2, we demonstrated it in our previous demos, every player has a home instance. And a home instance is not just a single building. It is, in fact, an entire neighborhood with several buildings and structures and NPCs in there. By choices that you make in your personal story, you can determine which NPCs are present in your home instance. Are there buildings that appear in your home instance or not? Likewise, monuments to your greatness would appear in your home instance. You can, in fact, invite other players to come in and see your home instance if you want to show them off, or have them participate in parts of your personal story. So I believe with that, we've shown almost everything we had to for this demo. I appreciate your time, and thank you for your interest in Guild Wars.